Welcome back to Block TV, and you're watching The Good Block, where we get the chance to meet the people making a difference in the world by using cryptocurrencies and the underlying blockchain technology. Now, of the many use cases for blockchain, a true reality and space in which blockchain can have an immediate effect of social impact. A platform doing just that is Fintech4Good. To break it down for us, we're joined in studio by Ziv Kainan, founder of Ziv Kainan Law, specializing in security tokens, and via Zoom by Xiaochen Zhang, the president of Fintech4Good. Hi, Xiaochen. Nice to see you and meet you in, digital universe. How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're good. Thanks for being with us. So now kind of going right into this. According to the Fintech4Good website, Fintech4Good is a global fintech and blockchain network that work with startups, industrial leaders, NPOs, and investors to develop and implement solutions for a better world. Now, that is a hefty sum. It's a lot for us. Can you please break it down?
Sure. And in using one sentence, we really see the gap. There is a huge gap between the technology community with the sustainable development community. And we serve as a bridge to just bring the technology through the incubation acceleration investments to the international development community and make the technology to just really address some of the most challenging problems in the world and create a new type of development model to just bring the positive impact to lives and business.
So Ziv, I want to throw this to you. As somebody who deals with security tokens and kind of this idea of this bridge that, that was now described, do you see that necessity, and in what way?
So of course there's need to be a bridge between the traditional investment world and blockchain technology. But Xiaochen, I must tell you, I'm one of his advisors and sit on his advisory board of Fintech4Good. Xiaochen is much more than that. He's also a bridge from the American community, and which he sits and resides in London, and the Chinese community, blockchain community. So every time that I come to New York and Xiaochen is doing an event, so I meet a lot of the Chinese community as well. And I think like the Chinese, there's a lot of interesting things to say when it comes for blockchain for social good. You can see the investment done by, for example, Ant Financial, which is a huge corporation, deals with finance. So they created now a blockchain for charities. They just won a big award by the United Nations for an initiative called the Ant Forest, where you can buy a tree on your mobile phone, basically invest and assist in foresting. So a lot of good things are coming out of China when it comes to social impact, and that's what's unique about Xiaochen, which is connecting those worlds.
So then throwing it back to you, Xiaochen, I'm curious, being that bridge between the Chinese community for social impact and the rest of the world, what can you tell us about that bridge being necessary, and just in general, what is going on in that realm of social impact with blockchain and China?
Sure. And just, when we talk about the impact, the most important part is the poverty reduction. When you just look at the past 20 years, and in China, that's, the poverty, the people who are eliminated from the poverty line, and from all over the world, China contributes probably, around half of that poverty elevation goal. And for that experience, definitely is important, to the world. And of course, that's now we are talking about technology-enabled new solutions and how to combine the existing experience with the new ones and bring the technology into that. And this, creates a lot of new opportunities. One example is again, that we just, looking at the bigger Chinese technology communities. They already started piloting and mainstreaming some of those models in different countries. For example, Alibaba using the e-commerce to just deliver opportunities for rural population, where then they just combine the live streaming and e-commerce platform to just bring the Taobao village into the remote areas and create a lot of jobs and opportunities for the remote population. And that experience already being used in Africa and some other countries. And when we just also talked about, for example, Binance, and although they started their work as the digital exchange, but then they also started the blockchain charity foundation, where then they now just deliver some new initiative to address some of the interesting challenge facing in the Uganda community. And just the last initiative was to just bring donations through the blockchain-based system to provide a sanitary solution for the girls under 14 years old in Africa countries. And then if we just also looking at like the climate change related challenge, where that's several of the Chinese blockchain technology companies, which they are just creating blockchain-based green bonds, blockchain-based peer-to-peer energy trading system, and other climate change mitigation or monitoring, evaluation, tracing, tracking solutions. All of them are just pilot in some of the countries. So as we can see that the blockchain-based technology company, they're not only creating solutions and for Chinese sustainable development related problems, but such kind of solution already are in the piloting stage in other countries.
So, I would like to ask you, blockchain being used for philanthropy, why is it that you believe that blockchain tech is the way to go in the philanthropic world, and why is it necessary? And then I'd like to throw it over to Ziv as well.
Sure, and so in the philanthropic world, there are so many challenges to bring the right solution to the people who are underprivileged. And one of the biggest challenge is really the identity. And due to the lack of identity, and many of them cannot be just brought into the mainstream economic opportunity. And so with the blockchain-based solution, and potentially that we can create economical solution where it's possible to provide more than 1 billion people digital identity. And with digital identity, that's then no matter you are public sector or you are government or you are philanthropic organization, you can really just bring the right kind of solution to match with the person with that profile, and also just to continue the support in the longer term. And those data accumulated becoming this person's identity, and this identity can enable them to just receive many more services which are available for them. And now that we move to another very important space in the philanthropic challenge, that is really the in lack of liquidity for the assets they owned. Because half of the poor, the asset they have, there's no liquidity, and your asset cannot just produce any economic return for you. But with the blockchain-based solution, that's you can really just unlock many of the assets to just give liquidity to those assets. Now with half of the world population and with the liquidity of their assets, we can just see the decrease of the philanthropic money, but with a lot more can be achieved by the assets what they already own.
Absolutely, and throwing that to you, Ziv, why do you think that blockchain technology is the way to go?
So I think we discussed it in the past here, but when it talks about blockchain technology, you have to understand or to ask yourself like, who does it brings more value to? The developed world, which, basically, I can send some money to a friend, and yes, the bank would charge me some, some small fee, but between us, like, I don't have any real issues with my bank account or sending money to third parties. But when it comes to the developing world, there you can see like the real value of blockchain technology. Suddenly, someone who exists totally out of the financial system has a bank account, or something which resembles a bank account. Now you can start documenting his financial life. And as Xiaochen said before, once you have a financial life that is documented, then you have all those instruments that that can be provided to you, like loans. Okay, so you can expand your business, you can buy more grains, and then plant your crop. You can use different technologies. So it's like blockchain technology has the potential to be the key for that developing world. But I like to touch on like a small other point, because we have Xiaochen with us right now, and Xiaochen knows, and I know, this week is the United Nations General Assembly. Xiaochen, are you participating in the General Assembly event?
Yes, and there are a number of, so if you are in New York this week, and probably you will be just really flooded by events, by different type of solutions, how they are shared with international communities. And we have one event which is just focusing on like UBI, Universal Basic Income. And where that, before UBI is like a really concept which is just not possible technically, but with blockchain-based solution that we can see that, with a digital wallet, with a digital currency, and it's highly likely and also with a cost-effective way to bring this, universal basic income to the everyone who are in the disadvantaged situation. And for that, we have a small group of scholars and also solution providers. And of course, that I know that Good Dollar is one of such solution provider. And hopefully this group can just, connect with Good Dollar in the future and bring the UBI, to the disadvantaged population. And there's another interesting event which is organized by the Philanthropy, and where that then they bring different Chinese leading philanthropic organizations to talk about how to just bring the new type of technology, including blockchain, AI, and other solutions to deliver, basic solution to the disadvantaged population. And this is a breakfast event lasting for 2 hours. We participated by the UN and many other agencies. And there's
absolutely, it's very necessary. I mean, I think in general, with what we learned, especially last week with Ethereal, it's very necessary when everybody meets up and discusses the technology. It's always more easy, it's easier to share ideas and expand and innovate and develop, which is always what we're looking for, especially in such a small and new space such as the blockchain industry as a whole. Thank you very much, Ziv Kainan of Ziv Kainan Law, for joining us today, and Xiao Zhen, president of Fintech4Good. It was lovely having you on today to learn about your platform. For all you folks at home, keep on watching at BLOCKTV.com for more cryptocurrency and blockchain-related news.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.